In today's modern world, we are constantly bombarded with messages about success, wealth, and the pursuit of material possessions. Everywhere we look, there's pressure to have the latest gadgets, the most fashionable clothes, or the biggest house. But let's take a moment to reflect. Do these things really bring lasting happiness? In a society that glorifies material success, it's easy to get caught up in the rat race, but is there more to life than the pursuit of wealth and status? As we strive for more possessions, more accomplishments, more validation, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. We may end up feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and unfulfilled, despite having more than enough. This is where the concept of living simply comes into play. By reducing our reliance on material things, we can regain our focus, find inner peace, and experience true joy, free from the constant need for more. Living simply isn't about sacrificing happiness. It's about removing the clutter, both physical and mental, that keeps us from experiencing life to its fullest. Living simply is not just about minimalism or decluttering your home. It's about creating a lifestyle that aligns with your deepest values and priorities. When we let go of the constant pursuit of material things, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress, and we make room for the things that truly matter, like relationships, personal growth, and inner peace. Simplicity allows us to focus on what brings us true happiness, not the fleeting satisfaction of accumulating things. In a world that constantly tells us that we need more to be happy, living simply helps us break free from the trap of materialism. It teaches us that less can truly be more, and that happiness doesn't come from possessions, but from the way we choose to live our lives. By embracing simplicity, we can reclaim our time, our mental clarity, and our sense of purpose. In this video, we will explore why living simply is important, and how reducing our dependence on materialism can lead to true freedom and happiness. We'll look at how living with intention and focusing on the essentials can help us find fulfillment that material possessions cannot provide. From mental well-being to emotional stability, we'll examine the ways in which simplicity offers a clearer, more peaceful path to a contented life. We'll also discuss practical steps you can take to embrace a simpler lifestyle, from managing your finances better to minimizing distractions and focusing on what truly matters. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of how embracing simplicity can bring clarity, reduce stress, and allow you to live a more purposeful life. If you found this video meaningful and believe it could help others on their journey to a simpler, more fulfilling life, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could benefit from finding peace through simple living. Together, we can spread the message that true happiness comes from within, not from the things we own. The concept of simple living is often misunderstood. Many people may think that living simply means giving up all the pleasures of life, such as the comforts of a nice home, favorite activities, or enjoying a good meal out with friends. However, living simply doesn't require us to abandon everything we enjoy. It's more about creating a life that is light, balanced, and focused on what truly matters. In other words, simple living is not about deprivation, but about making intentional choices that lead to a more meaningful, less cluttered existence. At the heart of simple living is the idea of freedom. Freedom from the burden of excess, both material and mental. It's about eliminating distractions and attachments to things that don't add real value to our lives. This allows us to be more present, focused, and intentional with our time, energy, and resources. It's about taking a step back and considering what is necessary for our well-being and what is simply a distraction or a product of societal pressures. By choosing to live simply, we are essentially choosing quality over quantity. It's about recognizing that more possessions do not equal more happiness, and in fact, they often do the opposite. We can enjoy the things that truly bring us joy, but we make a conscious decision to avoid the trap of accumulating things simply for the sake of status or validation. One of the key aspects of simple living is learning to differentiate between what is truly important and what is fleeting or superficial. In our modern world, we are constantly bombarded with messages telling us that we need more clothes, more gadgets, more luxury, more experiences. These messages suggest that happiness is tied to having more possessions or achieving more external success. However, true happiness and fulfillment do not come from the accumulation of material things. What's truly important in life are the intangible things, the relationships we build, the love we give and receive, the time spent with family and friends, our health, and the pursuit of personal growth. These are the things that nourish our souls, and they cannot be measured in material terms. On the other hand, what's fleeting are the things that society often tells us to value, such as wealth status and the latest trends. These things may bring momentary satisfaction, but they do not provide long-term fulfillment. In fact, they often create a cycle of wanting more, leading to discontentment and stress. When we focus on what is fleeting, we are constantly chasing an illusion of happiness, always seeking something new or better, but never truly feeling satisfied. The key to living simply is to shift our focus from the temporary and superficial to the enduring and meaningful. By doing so, we create space in our lives for the things that really matter, our passions, our relationships, and our personal well-being. In essence, living simply is about choosing a life that is grounded in what is lasting, rather than being distracted by the pursuit of what is temporary. The benefits of adopting a simple lifestyle are numerous, and they can positively impact all aspects of our lives. Here are some of the most significant advantages of embracing simplicity. 1. Reduced stress and anxiety. One of the greatest benefits of living simply is the reduction of stress and anxiety. In today's fast-paced world, we are often caught up in the pursuit of more work, more possessions, more accomplishments. This constant striving for more can lead to overwhelming stress and anxiety. The pressure to meet societal expectations and keep up with others can be exhausting, leaving us feeling anxious, dissatisfied, and constantly on edge. Living simply offers an antidote to this relentless pressure. By reducing our dependence on material things, we shift our focus from external achievements to internal fulfillment. When we stop chasing after possessions or status symbols, we no longer feel burdened by the weight of competition or comparison. This allows us to feel more relaxed and free. With fewer distractions and fewer material concerns, we can focus on what's truly important, our well-being, our relationships, and our personal growth. Instead of worrying about accumulating wealth or keeping up with others, we can focus on cultivating peace of mind and emotional stability. Living simply enables us to slow down, breathe, and experience life more fully without the constant pressure of meeting societal expectations. 2. Stronger connections with ourselves and others. Living simply also allows us to develop stronger connections with ourselves and others. In a world filled with distractions and endless to-do lists, it's easy to lose touch with what really matters. We often spend so much time and energy pursuing material success that we neglect our personal relationships and our inner well-being. By embracing simplicity, we make room for the things that truly matter. We have more time and energy to spend with the people we love, our families, friends, and communities. We can cultivate deeper connections, engage in meaningful conversations, and create lasting memories. We can also reconnect with ourselves by focusing on self-care, personal development, and emotional well-being. Moreover, when we live simply, we are less likely to be consumed by self-centered goals. Our focus shifts from material gain to emotional fulfillment, leading to more genuine, fulfilling relationships. We begin to recognize the importance of emotional connection over material wealth, and in doing so, we build stronger, more authentic bonds with others. 3. Improved quality of life. Living simply improves our overall quality of life by enabling us to focus on the things that truly enhance our well-being. When we are not consumed by the constant pursuit of more, whether it's more money, more things, or more experiences, we are able to find true contentment in the present moment. Instead of feeling dissatisfied with what we have, we learn to appreciate the beauty and value of life's simpler pleasures. Simplicity encourages us to find joy in the small, meaningful things: a walk in nature, a good conversation with a friend, or the simple act of enjoying a cup of coffee in the morning. By letting go of the constant pressure to have more, we begin to experience the richness of life in a way that we often overlook in our pursuit of material success. Moreover, simple living helps us prioritize health and well-being. When we aren't constantly focused on accumulating wealth or acquiring things, we have more time and energy to devote to activities that support our physical and mental health, such as exercise, meditation, and spending time outdoors. A life centered around simplicity fosters a sense of balance and peace, which contributes to an overall higher quality of life. In summary, the concept of simple living is about creating a life that is free from unnecessary distractions and focused on what truly matters. It involves reducing our dependence on material possessions and embracing a lifestyle that prioritizes relationships, personal growth, and inner peace. The benefits of living simply are profound: reduced stress, stronger connections with ourselves and others, and an improved quality of life. By embracing simplicity, we can find true happiness not in what we own, but in how we choose to live and the values we hold dear. As we move through our busy lives, it's important to remember that happiness does not come from the things we collect, but from the relationships we nurture, the experiences we cherish, and the peace we cultivate within ourselves. In today's consumer-driven world, materialism is often equated with happiness. From advertisements to social media, we are bombarded with messages that suggest the more we own, the happier we will be. We are told that new gadgets, designer clothes, or luxury cars are the keys to a fulfilling life. However, this belief is fundamentally flawed. Material things are just temporary tools, and they cannot provide the lasting peace and happiness that many believe they can. It's important to recognize that material possessions, no matter how expensive, beautiful, or sophisticated, are external and finite. They can bring short-term satisfaction, but they cannot fill the deeper emotional and spiritual needs that we have as human beings. For example, acquiring a new car may bring joy for a brief period, but after the initial excitement fades, we often find ourselves yearning for something else, something more. This cycle continues as we accumulate more things in the hopes that each new acquisition will provide a sense of fulfillment. But in the end, material possessions rarely provide the sustained happiness that we seek. The problem with materialism lies in its focus on external validation and consumption, rather than on internal growth or emotional satisfaction. When we derive our sense of worth from what we own, we become trapped in a never-ending cycle of acquisition, constantly chasing the next best thing. Material wealth may temporarily boost our sense of self-esteem or social status, but this sense of validation is often shallow and fleeting. Once the novelty wears off, we are left feeling empty, questioning whether there's something more to life. The fleeting effect of materialism can be seen clearly in the emotional response we often have after acquiring something new. The first few days or weeks with a new possession may bring happiness, but that feeling quickly fades. What was once exciting or desirable soon becomes just another item we take for granted. This phenomenon is widely recognized in psychological studies as the hedonic treadmill. The idea that people tend to quickly adapt to their circumstances and return to a baseline level of happiness, regardless of the positive changes in their material life. For example, a person who purchases a new smartphone may feel an immediate sense of joy, but after a short time the excitement diminishes. They begin to notice the next model being advertised and the cycle starts again. The same can happen with clothing, homes, cars, and even relationships as external factors continue to shape our perception of happiness. We seek satisfaction through new experiences or possessions, but it becomes a temporary fix rather than a lasting source of fulfillment. Materialism's fleeting effect is not just about a temporary emotional high, it also affects our mental well-being. People who are focused on accumulating material wealth often experience higher levels of stress, dissatisfaction, and anxiety. The constant pursuit of more leads to feelings of inadequacy, comparison, and the fear of missing out, FOMO. These emotions can lead to a sense of emptiness as we come to realize that No matter how much we have, we never truly feel whole. This is because the pursuit of material goods never addresses the deeper needs for connection, purpose, and inner peace. True happiness comes not from what we own, but from how we choose to live and what we value. Happiness rooted in inner values such as love, gratitude, compassion, and contentment is far more enduring and fulfilling than any material possession can provide. When we shift our focus from acquiring things to developing meaningful relationships and nurturing our inner well-being, we begin to experience a deeper and more lasting sense of joy. Living simply allows us to free ourselves from the shackles of materialism and focus on what truly matters. Rather than chasing the latest trends or accumulating more possessions, we can focus on cultivating gratitude for what we already have and contentment with our current circumstances. True happiness is not found in the size of our homes or the brand of our clothes, but in the quality of our relationships, the peace we feel within ourselves, and the way we contribute to the well-being of others. By letting go of the constant desire for more, we make room for the deeper, more meaningful experiences that contribute to lasting happiness. Simple living, or living with less, is not about depriving ourselves. It's about creating space for what truly nourishes our souls. When we stop measuring our worth by what we own and instead focus on our values and the connections we build, we find that happiness is already within reach. To better understand the relationship between simplicity, materialism, and true happiness, it is helpful to look at the lives of people who embrace simplicity and found peace without relying on material possessions. Two notable figures who exemplify this are Mahatma Gandhi and Thich Nhat Hanh. Mahatma Gandhi was a staunch advocate for simple living. He believed that a life of simplicity was not just morally good, but also necessary for personal peace and societal change. Gandhi voluntarily gave up his wealth and privileges, choosing to live in a small community where everyone worked together, sharing what little they had. He wore simple clothes, lived without many possessions, and focused on personal growth, compassion, and service to others. For Gandhi, simplicity was a spiritual practice that allowed him to focus on inner peace, self-discipline, and service. Despite living a modest life, he is remembered as one of the most influential and revered leaders of the 20th century. His ability to live simply and focus on his values made him a beacon of peace and integrity. Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese Buddhist monk and peace activist, is another example of someone who lived simply and found deep inner peace. Thich Nhat Hanh taught that true happiness is found through mindfulness and the cultivation of inner peace rather than the accumulation of wealth or material goods. His teachings emphasize the importance of living in the present moment and being content with what we have. Thich Nhat Hanh's life of simplicity allowed him to focus on compassion, spiritual practice, and serving others. Through his work, he inspired millions of people to adopt mindfulness practices and live with a sense of peace and contentment regardless of material circumstances. His example illustrates that happiness can be found in living simply without the need for material wealth or external validation. Both of these individuals exemplify that true happiness is not dependent on external possessions or achievements, but rather on living with purpose, cultivating inner peace, and embracing the present moment. Their lives serve as powerful reminders that simplicity leads to peace, and that material wealth is not the path to fulfillment. In conclusion, materialism may provide temporary satisfaction, but it cannot bring lasting happiness. Material possessions are fleeting, and the joy they bring is often short-lived. True happiness is found in the simplicity of life, where we focus on our inner values and the meaningful connections we build with others. Rather than relying on material goods to fill the void, we can look within ourselves and cultivate contentment, gratitude, and peace. Figures like Mahatma Gandhi and Thich Nhat Hanh remind us that simplicity can lead to profound happiness and fulfillment. When we embrace simplicity, we find a deeper sense of purpose and joy that is not dependent on what we own, but on how we live. In our modern society, it's easy to get caught up in the constant desire for more. From the latest tech gadgets to fashion trends, there is a persistent pull toward accumulating material possessions. However, living simply means learning how to moderate our consumption and stop chasing after fleeting material trends. It's not about depriving ourselves of joy or comfort, but rather about making more mindful choices that align with our values. One of the first steps in living simply is to recognize and reduce our dependence on material things. In a world where consumerism is the norm, it can be difficult to discern what we truly need from what we simply desire. A great way to start is by practicing intentional buying. Before making a purchase, ask yourself, do I truly need this? Will it improve my life in a meaningful way? Often we buy things because of habit, peer pressure, or the allure of marketing rather than because they add value to our lives. A useful exercise is to spend a week or a month keeping track of what you purchase, not just the amount of money spent, but also the emotional reasons behind each purchase. Do you buy things to fill a void, to keep up with trends, or to avoid discomfort? This awareness helps you make more conscious decisions moving forward, and eventually you may find that many of your purchases are impulsive or unnecessary. For example, stop buying items on impulse. When you see something that catches your eye, take a step back. Consider if it's something that truly adds value to your life, or if it's just another distraction. Avoid constant sales and discounts that encourage us to purchase things we don't need just because they're on sale. Another method is to declutter your living space regularly. It's easy to accumulate things over time, often without realizing it. Take some time every few months to go through your belongings and ask yourself if they're truly needed, or if they're simply taking up space in your home and mind. By letting go of items you don't use or need, you create more physical and mental space for what truly matters. When we focus on materialism, we often get caught in the idea that happiness comes from having more. However, true fulfillment comes from focusing on values that are enduring, not temporary. These values are things that give life meaning and depth, regardless of how much we own. One of the most important lasting values is family time. As much as material wealth can provide comfort, the connections we build with loved ones are the true sources of lasting happiness. In a world filled with distractions, it's crucial to spend quality time with the people who matter most. Instead of focusing on buying more things, focus on deepening your relationships and creating memories with family and friends. Another lasting value is personal development. True growth comes from investing in ourselves, whether it's through reading, learning new skills, or improving our emotional well-being. Personal growth enriches our lives in ways that material possessions simply cannot. It adds meaning to our existence and helps us become better versions of ourselves. Mental health is also a crucial value to prioritize. In a society that often encourages us to chase after more, it can be easy to overlook our emotional well-being. Simple living encourages us to nurture our mental health by focusing on self-care, mindfulness, and reducing stress. This could mean engaging in meditation, journaling, practicing gratitude, or taking time for hobbies that bring joy and peace. By choosing values such as family, personal development, and mental health, we can begin to free ourselves from the grasp of materialism and align our lives with things that provide long-lasting happiness. A key aspect of simple living is the practice of gratitude. In a world where we're often taught to want more, gratitude helps us appreciate what we have instead of always reaching for the next best thing. By practicing gratitude, we shift our focus from what's missing to what is already abundant in our lives. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a practice. It's easy to focus on the things we don't have, especially in a society that promotes comparison and the need for more. However, gratitude helps us shift our attention to the positives in our lives. Gratitude allows us to see that we are already blessed in many ways, whether it's good health, supportive relationships, or a safe home. The more we focus on these things, the more we feel a sense of abundance and contentment. A simple practice is to start a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be big things. Small moments of joy, kindness, or beauty are just as important to notice. Over time, this practice will help you build a mindset of gratitude, and you'll begin to notice how much you already have in your life. Another way to practice gratitude is to express appreciation to those around you. Thank your family members, friends or colleagues for their support, kindness, or simply their presence in your life. Gratitude helps strengthen connections and brings positivity into both your life and the lives of those you interact with. To live simply, we need to accept simplicity as a way of life. This means choosing to live with fewer material needs, embracing contentment and finding joy in simple pleasures. Simplify your desires by asking yourself if a purchase or new experience will truly enhance your life, or if it's just another temporary fix for a deeper emotional need. One of the best ways to simplify is by saving money and learning to live within your means. In a consumer-driven society, it's easy to get caught up in buying things on credit or borrowing to keep up with others. Simple living encourages us to be mindful of our financial choices, to avoid unnecessary debt and to save for things that truly matter. Taking time to enjoy simple pleasures is another way to embrace simplicity. Whether it's reading a book, taking a walk in nature, or spending time with loved ones, these moments can bring us more joy and peace than any material possession. By slowing down and appreciating life's small moments, we can shift our focus away from the constant chase for more and start savouring what's already around us. A cluttered environment often leads to a cluttered mind. One of the most effective ways to practice simplicity is by creating a simple living space that promotes peace, comfort, and focus. Decluttering and simplifying your environment can help reduce distractions, enhance your ability to relax, and create an atmosphere of calm. How to declutter and simplify your living space. Begin by assessing your space. Look around and ask yourself, what is truly necessary? What brings me joy? As you go through your possessions, consider letting go of anything that doesn't serve a functional purpose or contribute to your happiness. This may involve donating clothes you no longer wear, selling furniture that doesn't fit, or even decluttering your digital space by organizing files and emails. Simplifying your living space doesn't mean throwing everything out. It means making conscious choices about what you surround yourself with. Keep only what adds value to your life, whether it's items that serve a practical purpose or things that bring beauty and joy into your home. By doing this, you create a more peaceful and intentional environment that fosters relaxation, creativity, and focus. In addition to decluttering, it's important to focus on the design and layout of your space. A minimalist approach to furniture and decor can reduce distractions and make your home feel more spacious and calm. Simple design choices like using neutral colors, keeping surfaces clean, and incorporating natural elements like plants can have a powerful impact on your well-being. A minimalist environment promotes mental clarity, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. When we are surrounded by too much clutter, our minds often feel overwhelmed, and it's difficult to focus on deeper, more meaningful activities. By creating a space that is simple and free from distractions, we can better align our environment with the values of simplicity and tranquility that we seek in our lives. Living simply is about making conscious choices that reflect our deepest values. By reducing our dependence on material things, practicing gratitude, and simplifying our environment, we can create a life that is more peaceful, fulfilling, and focused on what truly matters. Through simple living, we free ourselves from the distractions and pressures of consumerism, allowing us to connect more deeply with ourselves and others, and find happiness in the small, meaningful things that bring true contentment. Embracing simplicity is not about deprivation. It's about freedom. Freedom from the burden of excess, freedom to live in alignment with our values, and freedom to enjoy life in its most genuine form. Living simply is not about giving up the things we enjoy, but rather about reducing our reliance on fleeting materialism and focusing on what truly matters. In a world that often emphasizes the importance of owning more, doing more, and being more living, simply invites us to step back and evaluate what truly brings us happiness and fulfillment. When we live simply, we find the freedom to enjoy life without the burden of excessive possessions, the happiness that comes from prioritizing relationships, self-care and personal growth, and the inner peace that arises when we let go of unnecessary distractions and focus on the things that nurture our soul. Simplicity is about choosing quality over quantity and learning that true wealth isn't measured by material possessions, but by the richness of our experiences, our relationships, and the time we invest in what truly matters. By embracing simplicity, we create space in our lives for what brings lasting joy and meaning, rather than chasing after things that offer temporary satisfaction. As you reflect on your own life, I encourage you to think about what truly holds value for you. What are the things that bring you lasting joy and fulfillment? How can you start living more simply and focusing on the essentials that contribute to your well-being? Remember, living simply doesn't mean you have to give up everything, but it's about being intentional with your choices and letting go of the things that no longer serve you. Start small. Begin by reducing unnecessary possessions, things that clutter your physical space and distract your mind. Take the time to organize and declutter your environment. By eliminating what no longer serves a purpose, you create space for things that bring peace and clarity. Make time for the people you love. In our fast-paced world, we often forget the importance of spending quality time with those who matter most. By simplifying your schedule, you open up the opportunity to deepen these connections. Remember that living simply is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight, but every small change you make will help bring you closer to the peaceful, purposeful life you deserve. If you found this video meaningful and inspiring, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could benefit from finding peace through simple living. You may be the inspiration someone needs to start their own journey towards simplicity and true happiness. Let's spread the message of living with intention, embracing simplicity and finding fulfillment in the things that truly matter.